Hey everybody, it's On Screen, Off Screen, the show where we like to talk about movies, books, how they influence our lives, and all the good things we got going on. I am very excited for this episode. Um, Little hint, I get to go on some hate runs this episode, and it's going to be great. We're going to start with Josh because we have a shared topic, and I didn't like it. What did you think, Josh?
Okay, so the shared topic is Over Your Dead Body. It stars, what's his name? He's in Drinking, he's in How I Met Your Mother, he plays Marshall,
Marshall, what is the heck is his name?
Jason Segel. And it's basically two different movies. I feel like the first half is very grounded and down to earth. And it's very much about how men and women just like in these bad relationships just like suck the will to live out of each other. And it's so real. I have literally been at a restaurant and I have heard this argument between a couple, and I just had to sit there like this has nothing to do with me, but it's so uncomfortable. So I hope that couples go watch this movie, and if just one of them driving home or during their next argument says, hey, that movie sounds like us. I think that this is one of the most important films that has ever been made because it is so real. I think people are going to watch it and be like, nobody really sounds like that. But oh my gosh, you can see the wife just criticizing the will to live out of this guy. And this guy's like narcissism just like completely controlling and taking the will to live out of the wife, and it feeds into each other into this horrible relationship. And it's like, man, I really hope that at least one couple, either in the theater during their next fight or on the way home, realizes that sounds like us, because it does. It sounds exactly like that, and it's bad, it's terrible, and if you just realize it and then realize the second half of the movie where they're trying to tell each other that like communication and teamwork is the way through it, then great. Problem is, I don't think our super selfish narcissistic society is willing to hear that message. And the fact that the second half of this movie turns into weird, die hard, actiony plot confusing weirdness kind of ultimately undermines the overall thing. Like if they had just like decided to team up and work together and then we had some John Wick action between the two of them, great. But like there's this plot where the owner of the cabin in the woods hears that somebody might be at their cabin, so he shows up and runs over the bad guy and then turns out to be a badass, and then all of this other stuff happens, and somehow these like bad guys survive the most atrocious things that would kill like 99.999% of people, and then they just keep coming back and coming back and coming back just for plot sake. It's like, okay, just make a short movie. There's nothing wrong with a short movie. You don't have to extend it by bringing these guys back 5 times. And the movie even ends with, well, did he die or didn't he? You're like, holy crap, I don't care. So, like, I actually think the first half of this movie is brilliant in what it's trying to do. I'm not in a relationship, so I don't have the lesson to learn from it. But, like, I really hope somebody does. If you watch the second half and you just accept it and you're like, okay, this is fun diehardness, like I can get that too. Um, it's a fine movie. I don't think it's like terrible or horrible. And I think that like the first half does prop up this movie quite a bit. That's all I really have to say
Okay.
about it.
What was your rating?
I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. But like if I'm ever in that restaurant again, I might interrupt the couple and be like, Have you guys ever seen Over Your Dead Body with Jason Segel? I think maybe you should check this movie out. I think you might like it.
You're totally gonna get somebody murdered. The wife's gonna go home, watch it, and be like, "That's a great idea."
We'll see. I don't know. I like, yeah, it's, yeah.
I'm glad you didn't not like this movie. Um, I have a reviewer that I like a lot, and he was talking about how good this movie was when he watched it at some like movie festival kind of thing. And so I was pretty excited. I like Samara Weaving. She's in Ready or Not. She's in another show that I really like. What is it called? Uh, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing is also a very good movie. And she's great in it. I obviously like Jason Segel a lot. He's great. I don't like either of these characters at all. I don't want to spend any time with them. I was rooting for them both to kill each other. It's like, please just end this. Um, there's a few little funny spots that are pretty good, but Jason Segel is kind of like a narcissistic asshole who does do a good job of acting it, but I don't want to spend any time with this guy. I'm not rooting for this guy. I genuinely like the murderers more than I like this couple. So at the second half of the movie, I'm like, just kill him. I want our main characters to lose. And I was rooting so hard for the bad guys of this movie. I did not want them to get back together. They're a terrible couple. Jason Segel literally sees Samara Weaving cheating on him. Like, apparently he watches it, which is, I don't know, and decides that he's just going to murder her. And she decides that she's going to murder him. And they both just want to get the insurance money. Like, that's kind of the entire premise of the movie. And you got a couple different funny parts. Like, two that I wrote down is one where they're fighting for the first time and they shoot into the ceiling and the bad guys fall through the ceiling. The bad guy's like, "You shot me in the ass." It was funny. And he's just like standing there like, "Ow! Ow! Ow!" It was very Home Alone, but I like Home Alone. Made me laugh. And then there's a part where they're trying to prove who's the better actor, and they're both trying to see who can cry first because Jason Segel is like, "You suck at acting," because he's just a giant dick. But they're betting each other who can cry first, and I thought that was very funny. Those were two good spots. The problem is I don't like anybody else in this movie. I think the circumstances that Josh went largely over are all ridiculous. I think the whole murder, like what they're planning with the murders, was dumb. I think the side character who comes in to help Jason Segel murder his wife is also dumb. He gets told that he was being lied to, but he's still going to get $50,000. And he immediately is going to shoot the friend and ends up dying. And it's just all stupid. It's all stupid. This is not a very good movie. This is not a movie that I enjoyed. This is not a movie. This is probably my least favorite Jason Segel thing that I've watched. Yeah, it's just not very good. I am going to give it a 3 because it had me laugh. 2.5. I'm going to give it a 2.5. It made me laugh a couple times. That's about it. Not very good. Anyway, pretty short little topic. Let's go over to our next topic for Josh. What do you got?
So I'm just gonna burn through these. These are really quick. The quicker one is the game Visage. It is an indie developed little horror game. I'm barely into it. I've put an hour into it. It's like an 8-hour game, 8 to 10. Conlon, you need to play this game. Plain and simple. The first 20 minutes, I felt uneasy. The hairs on my skin were literally standing up, and I got to a point where literally nothing happened. But I was like, my anxiety is so high right now. I need to stop playing.
That's crazy. Has that ever happened to you?
No.
That's crazy. That's so cool. I gotta play
Yeah.
this game.
So like, there's nothing to say that happened. Right? A mirror moved from one place to another, and I was like, I've got to stop right
nope,
now.
I'm done.
Now, Go ahead, Lauren.
You didn't want to pull me and shoot the lights out?
You shot the
That
lights out?
is it's
It
a
was like in Chucksy
Chucksy,
or
yeah.
yeah, Chucksy. I like freaked out over nothing and shot the lights, and I was like, they turned the lights out on me.
This one you are unarmed. You're in your own apartment. You're trying to uh, go through it. The lights turn off and on their own. When you're in darkness, you slowly lose the ability to see. Right, like it gets
I see.
blurrier and blurrier and blurrier. The music is excellent. It's a really good looking game. I don't think it's gonna be your top horror game of any kind. Because my one caveat to Visage is I was very primed. This was when I just finished watching my horror movies last week. I booted into this game, so I was like ready to be in the horror place. The sound design is excellent. We both have really good headphones, um, so I think you're really gonna like it. I don't know about love it. I don't know. Maybe you'll play it and you'll be like, this game sucks. I don't know what Josh is freaking talking about. It's entirely possible. But yeah. The second one is for both of you. I played Librarian Tidy Up Arcane. And I can narrow down my review into one word. And that is Zen. It is
Zen.
Zen. Um, I was pretty skeptical of this game, but Lauren said she wanted to try it, and I've been seeing people play it on TikTok, and I was like, I can maybe see what this is all about. So I'll just get it, and at the very least, I'll have bought it for Lauren, and she can play it. And I started playing it, and then I beat it, and I was like, I can't stop thinking about this game. The whole
Okay.
premise of this game is fairies have destroyed a library, and I am the librarian, and it is my job to pick up and organize the books. That's the whole game. That's it. But the music is really calming and at peace, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna start looking for all the white books, and you start picking up all the white books, and you start putting them away, and you're like, it has been 2 hours. Where did that 2 hours go? But yeah, I was playing this at first just on its own. I stopped. I turned the music down, and I eventually started to watch a show on the side. And it was just like I was so zen and relaxed, right? Like I don't love chores when they're gross or whatever. So some of these like do chores games, they do stuff that I don't love. This one is just like how great it feels to my OCD to organize things. That's the whole game. Everything is color. There's nice numbers. You line it all up. You get everything organized. There's a little puzzles that you can do if you want to. And then it gives you a rating at the end of like how well you did. And I did it in 6 hours, which is pretty freaking good for a first time. I got 0 of the bonuses, and I got 100%. I didn't use sprint or jump or whatever. You can kind of figure out how to unlock these if you do the puzzles, but I didn't do it. But and now I've unlocked special stuff, and like last night I worked, and the whole night I was like, I want to go turn on a show and see what those special levels are like. That's what I want to do because it's just so relaxing and zen. And Conlon, I know these like what do you call them? Chill,
Wholesome.
nothing kind of games.
Cozy
Cozy
games.
games aren't necessarily your thing, but like this one is so just like you turn on a show, you just do it. It doesn't take up a ridiculous amount of time. Like I understand Stardew Valley and the animal one, you have to put hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into. And this one is just like you don't. You can pause it, you can walk away, come back to it later. It's just organizing. I like organizing. Um, and Lauren, I have a feeling that you're going to be very much like me. You're going to play it. You're going to be like, where did all that time go? I beat it. Oh, I missed one. Okay, well, let's try again. Oh, I wonder if I can do it faster than 6 hours. And I think you're really, really, really going to like it.
I'm excited. Yeah, I can't remember what brought that up. That I was like, I want to play the Tidy Up like Arcane Library.
It's on TikTok everywhere. Like people
Well,
are.
did I send you a thing and say that? Look, I just can't remember how our conversation went. That I ended up telling you that I wanted this game,
I
but
think it was in a TikTok you sent me. I think you were like, I don't know what game
uh,
this is, but I'd like to play it.
oh, probably,
Yeah.
yeah,
And like the people on the TikTok aren't even really playing the game. It's usually one of those like we're doing something else and just playing this clip of this game. Like they do with Subway Surfers or Minecraft all the time.
yeah.
And it was really fun. It's really, really good. I've got no criticisms of this game. It is exactly what it is. It is fun. It is zen. It is just a chill, good time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your rating of it?
I'm giving Librarian an 8.5 because it's that
Wow.
I want to play again. And like, it's a $15 game or whatever it was. It took me 6 hours to play it through the first time. I want to play it again. Lauren's going to get some playing time out of this. Conlon's going to try it and tell us that it sucks because who cares about these stupid books? Whatever. But like, it was good.
It does sound like what I'm probably gonna do.
Yeah.
That's like what I gotta
I saw a good time out of it. If you're talking dollar per hour, it's really, really great. And
That's really
I
great.
want to go back and play it already. So,
That's super cool.
yeah.
That's super cool. All right, Lauren. Let's hear about the greatest thing in the entire world.
Okay, so this weekend I listened to Cabin Pressure while I worked. Cabin Pressure, we've talked about it before on the podcast. It's a radio show put on by BBC with Benedict Cumberbatch. I need to come up with these names better. All I can think of is John Finnemore,
John
but that's
Finnemore.
Arthur. Um, what's Douglas's actor?
So that is my note. I confused him with Tim Curry last time I was talking about it. He is not Tim Curry. He is.
Because I
Stephanie
believe
Cole is Carolyn, and Douglas is Roger Allen.
Roger Allen. There's another character that Carolyn ends up dating, Hercules.
He
Hercules the
plays
Hercules.
the bad guy in Ted Lasso.
Yes, and so this time when I
That's
was listening through it, I could not because before when I envisioned him, he was kind of like I don't know, kind of a big burly dude with like the flat top shave thing, like not a shave but cut, the flat top cut,
He was James Bond.
and yeah, yeah. But then when I realized who the actor was, it was just the actor looked like in Ted Lasso in this now. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I probably listen to Cabin Pressure maybe twice a year, like all the way
Wow.
through. It's just so funny and enjoyable, and like it's very interesting how they can get you to really know these characters within the time that they have in a radio show. Because there's one character, Arthur, who he's kind of simple. He like lives with his mom, and he says brilliant to everything. And there was one that it made me laugh out loud at work when he was like, they're the two pilots are playing a game where they can only talk in one syllable words, and so they're very careful about how they have to say everything. And then they're like, one had to get the cabin address, and so he's like, hello, he's like, hi, I am the one in the front, because he couldn't say pilot and or captain. And it's like really funny. And then Arthur wants a turn, and he's like, all right, when can I go? And they're like, now. And he's like, brilliant. And they're like, that was so short and simple. So he immediately loses the game. But yeah, you have like this one pilot who is um, kind of more of an amateur, but is the actual like captain, um, because he took no pay to be able to be put into the name of captain so that he'd be easier to get hired on at another air force. And then you have the experienced pilot who is the co-pilot, and it's really funny because the one is like way overconfident, that is the co-pilot, and the captain is the one that is like trying to prove himself throughout the series, which is Benedict Cumberbatch, and they do such a good job. um I think I mentioned this before. Tikik Tarjoak is my favorite. It's where they try to go see polar bears in Canada in a jet. And um the whole time they're always making fun of Martin, which is Benedict Cumberbatch's character. And one of my other favorite episodes is when they go to Ireland, and Arthur and Douglas are stuck in the airport, and Martin and the Carolyn are getting a stuffed sheep for her boyfriend who is terrified of sheep. And so, like, all these shenanigans ensue, but it's just so funny because Douglas is sitting there with Arthur, who is just thinks it's the greatest time of his life being in an airport that has like one terminal, and the person who's like there attending the terminal is just like, "Do you want to like see everything? We could take you to the bar." And he's like, "Well, neither of us drink." And he's like, "Do you have pineapple juice?" And he's like, "Yes, we have pineapple juice." So then they're pretending to be people at a bar drinking, but they're just drinking juice.
Just
And
drinking pineapple juice.
yeah, and Arthur is like, "So how do we talk about how does one talk at a bar?" And he's like, "I don't know, just talk." And he's like, "Dames, how about them dames?" He's like, "No, that's not how anybody talks." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Just like talk about our lives." And he's like, "Oh, how's your last ex-wife?" And he's like, "No." It's just like it's a very witty, very quippy. I don't think any dialogue is lost in this series. It's great. I love it. Um, yeah, and like you come to like all of the characters, their flaws um, and they're not flaws, their strengths. There we go. um, but yeah, that's Cabin Pressure. It's a 10 out of 10 for me.
I need to listen to it. You guys have just gone on and on and on about how good this is.
It's really funny. And I wish more people knew about it because
It's
when I
brilliant.
brilliant
I'm
Skip.
guessing that was a quote.
Yeah, because Arthur always
Arthur
says
always
brilliant.
says brilliant to everything. It is
Mm.
what he says every time he talks. Brilliant. When are we
Hmm.
going? Brilliant.
And then they were like, "Oh, so we talked to your airline, and we had at random one of the stewardesses write a review about you, and they just wrote one word, brilliant." And he's like, "Wonder who that was." It's so good. It's so good. It's wholesome. It's good.
I'll check it out for sure. Like you guys have talked to literally, I think this is the third or fourth time we've talked about this.
Really?
Yeah. I
Huh.
think this probably is a topic we've talked about the most on this channel.
Not Harry Potter.
Ah, Harry Potter. Harry Potter is the thing we've talked about most.
Because we
This is
were
the thing
almost
we've talked about second most.
From
And has been consistently positive every single
Severance.
time.
Yeah. There's
I
a
don't
few
know.
things we've talked about
There's a
more.
few things.
But yeah, it's
Okay.
great. It's a 10 out of 10 for sure.
Cool, cool. I will try it out. That leads us to our shared topic. Um, Josh, I think you suggested this. Go ahead.
So the shared topic is Iron Lung. This is Mark Plyer's solo movie. This is one that Lauren went and saw, and she absolutely loved it. She gave it a very high score. I'm very curious if it is still stood high score. Um, I believe I'm the only one who played the game out of the three of us. So I had that unique perspective as well. Markiplier did a great job. Uh, it matches up with the game extremely well. He expanded the lore using the actual creator of the lore. They talk to each other all the time about it. Um, he references his own YouTube videos in the movie, which is very funny to me because if you watch Markiplier play the game, he starts like flipping his hands weird to try and navigate as if that would help him, and actually makes fun of himself like doing this doesn't change anything. Um, and then in the movie, he starts doing that too. So it like for me, it was very fascinating to be like, this person is acting as if they played the game because he did play the game, which is very fascinating to me. I really liked this movie. I think they did a great job with it. I think he did a fantastic job with it. I would absolutely rewatch this movie. I am absolutely happy to have supported Markiplier and his passion project. I hope he wants to keep doing more. I absolutely encourage it because he did a phenomenal job. It's great.
Okay, I I'm gonna spoil a little bit of what I think, but I know the game is like an hour long. This felt long to me. Do you think that it felt dragged out at all to you? Like, was there anywhere where they could have cut down anything at all
No,
that way? Okay,
I thought it
it
was
just
very
transferred
tight.
over from the game. Okay,
I didn't feel like it was long at all.
okay, okay. I'm glad you liked it, man. Um, sweet. Well, what was you just gave your rating, didn't you?
I'm giving it a 9. I loved it. I thought it was
Wow.
really great. So good. Yeah, it's like Conlon already said it. It's like the game isn't super long, but everything they added was lore accurate to the game. The game is like
Okay.
3 hours. Um, you could play it in like 45 minutes if you did a speed run of just like the main checkpoints, but there's so many things in the game where you get access to a computer like he does in the movie, and if you go explore not just what the game tells you to check and you start looking in other places, you find things like the sub that he finds, and you can search that in the computer in the game, and it will give you the lore, and you can dive deeper into the lore and all that kind of stuff. And so like from the movie, like 60% of the movie is in the game, but then that 40%
Okay.
is all added on with the like working with the creator of the game. Markiplier didn't just be like,
Okay.
I'm taking this and I'm running with it. He was like, no, I want to know what your plan was. I want to expand it. I want to make it work. In the game, there is one character, and it is you. The girl is not in the game. Going up in the sub is not in the game. The monster thing that they see at the end is not in the game. The whole hallucination sequence is not in the game. But they added on to it, and I think it very much flushed out this lore. And I think it's a great way to be exposed to this story. I had a really good time with the game. I had a great time with this movie.
That's awesome. I Wow, I'm gonna be so different from you guys. Lauren, what did you think?
I believe my last review is a 9, and I'm keeping it at a 9. Um, because I think Markiplier did a phenomenal job. Um, Still bothered me with his taping skills, though. Like, you need to go like this. Stop taping over your tape for keeping the button closed. Um, Now that like I've known a little bit more about the lore, because Josh did talk about the game before on the podcast, it did make me less confused this time going. And I'm such a vibe watcher that it didn't necessarily bother me when I was watching it the first time anyway. But it was nice to go back and rewatch it and um, kind of have more of a grasp of what was going on. And then also, I think it's really funny. I don't know if this has been popping up on your guys' social media, but there's a lot of people shipping Mark's character Simon with Grace from why can't I think of that? Project Hail Mary. and and Markiplier jokingly was like saying something about oh, he's like, yeah, I'll just like erupt from. They saved me from the blood, and I'll just hold Ryan Gosling. So he knows. He knows about the ships that people are doing. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I enjoy this movie. I am glad I supported Markiplier. I hope, just like Josh said, I hope he keeps doing projects like this. We need people who have passion projects and doing things like this because that set also really good. Like they I think I've already mentioned this, like they had him in like one of those, like the sub moved and they had him in there. And there's a part where he breaks the chair. Yeah, that wasn't ever supposed to happen. They're a little rough with him, but I think it was, I thought it was great. And this is technically
Okay.
a horror movie,
It
so
is a horror movie.
it's high praise for me.
Oh, wow. This is a weird episode, guys, because I don't get it. I genuinely was watching the movie and I was like, I usually am pretty good at getting movies. I paid extra attention. I was like, I'm not doing anything else. We're focusing. I restarted it because I was like, I'm kind of confused. What is going on? I didn't remember Josh talking about this, to be completely honest. So I'm watching it and I'm like, why is he down there? Why is there blood? Wait, where'd everybody go? Why are there no like planets? What? And that was my experience with most of this movie. Was like, huh? And then Markiplier, I felt like just screamed and said the F word a lot, and that was like his acting, which I don't think is good acting. Um, like, F F, ah! Just I don't know. Um, I kind of watched it and I was like, are people just a fan of this because they like him? I don't get it. Like I really don't get it. And in the end, he's hearing voices, and I'm like, is he crazy? Is the monster talking to him? What the hell is happening? And then he sent some information packet from a ship, and somehow that saves everything. I think. I don't really know. Um, I don't know. And I feel maybe if I rewatched it, I'd like it better because you guys were so high. I feel like I'm missing something. Like I don't get it. I've watched Obsession and Talk to Me, which were both made by YouTube artists, where they've created a movie, and I was like, wow, that feels like a movie. This one to me felt like a high budget YouTube video, not a movie. It I don't get it. Um, and the camera work and everything felt very like a 2000s movie, which I like some of that. Like it felt like kind of like Sunshine ish, which I love Sunshine, but it's not that time period anymore. So it had a main character that I felt like was just screaming at things all day. I had a story that I was very confused by the entire time, and a monster that you didn't see until it blew up at the end, and it's supposed to be scary that it's popping up on the images. Whatever. The music was fine. I truly feel like I missed something because you guys are so high that I feel like I'm wrong on this because I don't get it at all.
Um, well, I can go into deeper about Simon if that helps.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah.
because like I really like the idea of, you find out he's an inmate that's going down there to try to earn his freedom. He's just
Yeah.
supposed to go down for one dive, and then that's supposed to secure his freedom.
Yeah.
He slowly finds out that these people are lying to him, and so then he's like, why would I try to help you now that like I know I'm not getting out of this? But he's still like trying. You realize that like he still has the will to live, so he's trying to figure out how to get himself back up. um and like, because those people aren't going to help him anymore, and he realizes that. And you realize that like, because at first you're like, oh yeah, well he's a prisoner, well what did he do? And then when you, I like the scene where they take him up and like he's angry at them, but then he accidentally like radiates the area and like basically kills a guy, and he had no idea. And you can see him like freaking out about that and not realizing that he actually hurt somebody, because he's not actually like a hardcore villain person. He's just somebody who was in the wrong place at the wrong time trying to do good. And then you have this whole struggle with him this entire time of like trying to basically fight against the inevitable of he's going to die, but he's still trying, like literally on a sinking ship. He doesn't have a lot of air. And then he has like this kind of monstrous thing being like, okay, well, like, this, like, you should just kind of give up. And like, so it's like, then he's listening to these other people, he can save everybody else. And even though he's pissed off that he's not going to survive, he ultimately chooses to help everybody else. And so that's where it's like interesting of like Simon trying to figure out everything that's going on. The little monster bit and him and the hallucination still kind of gets me a little bit like, I don't know what's
Real or
real and what's not.
the ship blows
um
up, so maybe it's real. I
yeah, but
don't
like
know.
there's because there wasn't supposed to be anything living down there, and then they
Okay.
find out that something's living down there, because the skeleton that they were getting samples from wasn't a skeleton. um but yeah, anyway, so that's what I think is really interesting, because to me he wasn't just swearing all the time. I mean, if I was in that situation I would be swearing all the time too. uh I thought it was very realistic if you were somebody shoved in a submarine in an ocean of blood. But
Like, have you guys seen the movie Buried?
uh
Okay, let me. I can't remember what his name is. One second. Um, sorry, I should have this pulled up. Okay, Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. Literally, I could not remember his name. Ryan Reynolds gets buried in a coffin, and it's just him, and it's a claustrophobic movie the entire time. To me, Buried, as Ryan Reynolds, has enough acting chops to pull off being alone during a movie the whole time. Castaway is a very different movie, but like he has the chops to be able to run a movie by himself the whole time. I didn't feel like he had Marco had the chops to be able to run a movie by himself the whole time, personally.
I don't see what you didn't see.
Okay. And
But-
anyway, you were more explaining it to me because, like, where'd the blood lake thing come from? Why is there
oh,
nobody in
so
space? Like, what's the is the hallucination thing real? Yeah.
the lore doesn't really explain why everything's blinking out of existence, but it does explain that like this planet is basically the carcasses of a whole bunch of people, and it's
Okay.
a blood ocean because of all of the dead. And like the core of the planet is just a mush of organic things, because so many people died in one area that it literally made a planet. And so that's why it's made of blood. um,
Okay.
but that was something I had to Google, so that's not explained in the movie.
Yeah, I was so
um,
confused.
It
but
is,
yeah.
it's just in passing. Markiplier says in one line that there was a whatever the event is called, and this was the last remaining hope to, there's people in space stations floating through space. They're running out of food. There's organic material here. They want to know why this survived and nothing else did, and how that they know that there's organic material here, and they're hoping it will be able to feed the human race going forward in this new existence.
Okay, and does it explain why they think there's material here?
because they scanned it and they know that, like when Lauren
Okay.
said they didn't know that there was alive things in the ocean, they do. They're lying to
Okay.
Markiplier about nothing being alive down there. They don't
Okay.
know what it is. They don't know how big it is. They don't know a lot of things. But you'll notice that when they weld on the big thing, it is not actually a clamp, it is a spike. They're
Okay.
trying to kill it. Um,
Oh.
so it just sounds like it's not your thing, and that's fine. I don't see what you said. I literally looked it up and I was like, it says, but there's like between 36 and 40 something F bombs. And I was like, I didn't even notice.
Uh,
I think
I only
Markiplier
noticed one.
absolutely did a great job doing it. In the game, it's more about that isolation and claustrophobia. In the movie, it's more about the lore and the supernatural elements that they're going up against. In the movie, they make it a lot more clear that the things that are alive are human or were human. Um, so we have this question at the end of the movie where it's like he saved the data on how they're able to produce this organic material, but it's human. So is that actually going to be a savior, or is it going to be a curse on the remaining human race? We don't know. Um,
and they need that so that they have food.
yeah, the human race
Okay.
is starving to death.
And this was on this ship. And how did they know it was on this ship?
They well, that ship was one of the first ships to do the expedition. So the
Okay.
BM5 or whatever it was called was the only submarine that they sent down that served multiple missions. The rest of them are like the Iron Lung. There was three others where they use a convict. They weld him into it so it can hold up for longer than the other one did, so that they can gain more information. The
Okay.
the people up above know Markiplier's character will not survive.
Okay.
They know he's going to suffocate down there. They know that that tin can will eventually crumble in on itself. They're so desperate for this information on how to get food in this new existence that they're sending people down and lying to them and all that kind of stuff. So
And was it a hallucination that they were trapped down there with him and he was thinking that? Or are they trapped down there with him?
Oh, there was nobody alive in the other submarine.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I was so confused during this entire movie. Um, yeah.
Because
Okay. That
from
makes
what
somewhat
I
sense.
thought, it was the monster
it is the monster,
talking to him.
but we don't know if the
Well,
monster
didn't turn out.
was the previous occupant
Oh,
of the,
right, yeah, yeah, because he was
because that
using the
monster
voice of
is
the yeah.
human,
Okay,
was
Mm,
so
human.
because it's made of different human parts, it could actually be speaking as kind of like a multiple human smashed together twisted thing.
Sure. That's how you want to think about
Okay.
it. Yeah. It could be a hallucination. It could really be the souls of the people. We don't really know.
Okay.
You get to answer that question yourself. It is up for you to decide. That is the whole point of the thing. I don't feel like it was early 2000 shot. I thought it was beautifully shot. I
That is
I thought it looked
surprising to
great.
me.
Um, I watched it on my laser projector and I was completely blown away. I mean, it is basing itself off of a video game that is very low poly. Like if you pull up the sub from the game, you look at just like how it looks. It looks exactly like the sub that's in the movie.
Hmm.
Um, it is perfect recreation of it. I love the integrity Markiplier had on it. I, I loved it, but like I'm not gonna sit here and try and convince you to love it. If you didn't like it, it's fine.
I didn't hate it, but I was so like, what am I watching the entire time? And I thought Marco Polo was not that great. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great. Then I was just like, there. Lauren gave this a 9. She doesn't like horror movies. And then Josh gave this a 9. I was like, why? I'm the guy who likes horror movies. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's weird because like I don't really feel like this is a horror movie.
maybe that's what maybe I was like not drawn in because of that. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a 4 because it's not terrible, but I just I don't get it. It
And
doesn't
that's
seem
fair.
like it's worth the time. I don't know. Anyway, guys, anybody watching, you should try this out. Support YouTube artists who decide to give their own money and go for a dream. I think that's super cool. I also agree with them. I obviously didn't really love this movie, but my co-hosts, I think that's 2 of the highest ratings that they've ever given. So give it a shot. Next week, we're going to be watching Solo Mio. If you guys haven't seen it, give it a watch. Hopefully, it'll be good. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.